This is Armenia. Welcome to Opentiera. Embark on a journey through the remarkable history and vibrant culture of the ancient kingdom of Armenia. Dating back to the 6th century BC, this land boasts a legacy of resilience, religious significance, and a rich tapestry of conquests, survival, and triumphs. The ancient kingdom of Armenia emerged around the 6th century BC, according to ancient Greek sources. It rose to prominence under rulers like Tigranes the Great, who briefly built an Armenian empire stretching into present-day Turkey and Iran, before it fell to the Roman armies in the 1st century BC. Armenia holds the distinction of being the first state in the world to adopt Christianity as its official religion in the early 4th century AD under King Tiridates III. This ushered in the creation of magnificent churches and monasteries across the Armenian highlands. Over the centuries, Armenia experienced waves of conquests by various powers like the Byzantines, Arabs, Mongols, and Ottoman Turks. Despite losing independence for long periods, Armenians tenaciously held on to their religious and cultural identity in the face of periodic persecution. With the Ottoman defeat, an independent Republic of Armenia emerged once more in 1918 after centuries of subjugation, only to be incorporated into the Soviet Union. Armenia finally regained its independence in 1991 after the dissolution of the Soviet Union. Despite facing economic and geopolitical difficulties, Armenia continues to develop its institutions and international ties while preserving its unitary national identity rooted in Armenian culture and Christianity. Situated at the crossroads between Europe and Asia, Armenia has a complex geopolitical position shaped by its history and challenging neighborhood. As the smallest trans-Caucasian republic, landlocked Armenia must balance ties with larger powers around it, primarily Russia and Turkey. Russia remains Armenia's chief ally and security guarantor, while Turkey represents a threat. This also affects relations with Azerbaijan, where frozen conflicts persist over the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh territory. Meanwhile, Armenia strives to deepen partnerships with the United States, European Union, and Iran for trade and transport routes. It must also cooperate regionally despite tensions, as demonstrated via its participation in Russian-led economic and security alliances. Armenia possesses few natural resources, so manufacturing and services drive GDP rather than mining or agriculture. Food, beverage processing, diamond cutting and jewelry, pharmaceuticals, and information technology are top industries. The economy leans heavily on trade partners Russia and Europe. Since independence, Armenia has developed ties with institutions like the IMF, World Bank, and European Union in order to stimulate economic growth and job creation. The comprehensive and enhanced partnership agreement with the EU helps expand exports. Armenia is also a member of Russian-led economic alliances. Whether it's unique celebrations, faith, food, or music, there's a distinctive Armenian flavor that has persevered through the centuries. At the heart of culture is Armenia's identity as the first Christian nation. After adopting the religion in 301 AD, magnificent churches, monasteries, and Khachkar cross stones dotted the landscape with religious art and symbols persisting despite conquests by foreign powers over the years. Colorful Armenian celebrations often coincide with religious holidays like Easter or Vardavar, a water festival that likely has pagan roots. Trndes, celebrating the coming of spring, involves big community bonfires, while New Year festivities are marked by ingredients symbolizing wishes for the future. The arts hold a special place. You'll find stunning manuscript illustrations, ancient stone carvings, handicrafts, and iconic music that inspired composers like Komitas. Armenian music spans distinctive ancient folk roots to blend the traditional with the modern. At the heart sites the iconic woodwind duduk, its nostalgic fluttering melodies conjuring sorrow and longing. Alongside it lie traditional instruments of brass, strings and percussion that feature in colorful celebrations of Armenian culture, while dances display the music's rhythmic vivacity. Composers like the revered Komitas gathered thousands of regional folk songs in arrangements that embraced Armenian colors. Today's popular music fuses the ethnic and contemporary, with patriotic songs and pop artists ensuring musical culture remains an integral part of Armenian pride and identity. Despite invasion and tragedy, Armenia's enduring melodies and instruments form artistic expressions of the nation's resilient spirit. Armenia may be a small country, but it has some incredibly impressive and historic buildings and attractions to explore. Let's start with Geghard Monastery, partially carved out of the adjacent mountain. Founded in the 4th century, it has an astonishing collection of medieval Armenian architecture and religious artifacts. Don't miss the cave chapel and iconic stone crosses. Travel further back in time to the Hellenistic period at Gani Temple. This Greco-Roman style structure dedicated to the sun god Mihir is the last pagan temple still standing in Armenia after its reconstruction in the 1970s. The Erebuni fortress contains the excavated remains of one of the oldest settlements in Yerevan, originally constructed under King Argishti in 782 BC. It gives a fascinating glimpse into the city's pre-Christian past. Now let's look at Republic Square, the central city square that's home to the National Gallery and History Museum, showcasing Armenia's artistic and cultural heritage. The dancing fountains are also a popular attraction on the square. For book lovers, the Matenadaran Library contains one of the world's largest collections of medieval Armenian manuscripts, with over 17,000 items spanning history, art, and science. The building itself, blending Armenian and Greco-Roman architecture, is a masterpiece. Armenian food reflects the rich agricultural bounty of its valleys and mountainous terrain, centered around shares of lavash flatbread to wrap hearty barbecued meats and colorful vegetable preserves plucked fresh from the vine. The signature barbecue cooking known as korovats features the slow roasting of succulent local pork, lamb and beef over open flames, elevated by dried mountain herbs that imbue smoky, flavorful char. Savory pumpkin might accent the plate during winter months, while summertime feasts highlight juicy ripe apricots, peaches, melons and figs, layered into pastries like baklava, soaked in floral honey syrups. And no Armenian meal concludes without a digestive of brandy, aged for decades in oak barrels, to produce a smooth finish to a rewarding culinary experience rooted in ancient village comforts and convivial hospitality. If you enjoyed this video on Armenia, you'll love this next one.